First, measure the width of the shower space front and back, then the depth of both sides. Give tight measurements. Then get the center of the drain from all sides possible. To begin the install, cut the drain pipe 1 3/4 inch below the subfloor, so the bottom portion of the drain will be 1/8 inch above the floor. Then, install the bottom portion of the drain. The bolt-end section remains in place, so do not remove it. Next, test fit the pan to be sure the drain lines up properly. Then remove it. Using a 1/2 inch notch trowel, spread your thinset evenly under where the pan lays. Rapid set thinset is recommended. It can stay back away from the drain 1/2 to 3/4 inch and it won't matter. Next, apply a 1/2 inch bead of polyurethane or 100% silicone caulk to the flange of the drain. Then install the pan. After you wiggle the pan into place, make sure it's level. Next, install the adjustable portion of the drain. Apply a liberal amount of caulk around where the drain contacts the pan, using poly or 100% silicone, and then screw the drain into place. As the drain is turned, it spreads the caulk to form about 1½ inch of sill. Tighten down below the drain channels and then wipe away any excess caulking. When this is done, reinstall the drain grate. To install the backer board, first apply a liberal bead of caulk, poly or 100% silicone, to the top of the splash wall, so the backer board can set down into the caulk. This will help to ensure a good seal. Then, install your backer board to manufacturer's recommendations. After the backer board is in place, clean excess caulking from the joint and proceed with your normal methods of waterproofing all joints. You're ready to begin laying tile. The first thing is to cut the removable plate to the size to match your tile. This can be done with your tile saw. Lay your tile on the removable plate first. Then, clean the excess thinset from the edges and let it dry for 30 to 45 minutes. Rapid set thinset or epoxy should be used for all of the floor area. Next, lay the plate in place with tile installed on it and center up in the recessed area of the pan. And make sure it's square with the shower floor. Now, lay the floor tile as you normally would, making sure to keep the joint between the drain cover and the floor tiles all the same. This is where the water drains. Once the thinset is dry, you can remove the drain cover and begin to grout. It is recommended to use an epoxy grout. First, grout the drain cover. If the tile is hanging over the edges, be sure to grout under those edges at a slope back to the PVC plate. Next, grout the floor. When you get to the edge where the drain cover sets, the floor tiles will most likely be hanging over from 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch, so grout under these edges, keeping the grout as vertical as possible. If the grout is sloping in towards the drain, it will affect the water flow. This grout sticks to the tile and the pan to give support under the overhanging tile. When finished, clean all the grout from the drain channels and flat surfaces. To install the drain cover, you'll notice there are 3 indentions in the bottom of the plate. These work as index tabs, so when the cover is removed, it will only go back in the same location to keep the drain channel looking even and lined up with the grout joints. You'll first fill the indentions with thinset. Then place thinset on the 4 flat surfaces of the drain area. You want to put enough thinset to cover well and get the drain cover up to the right height, but you don't want to squish it out into the drain channels. When the drain cover is put into place, the thinset and the indentions and the thinset on the floor become one. Press the drain cover down to match the other tiles, or maybe leave it just a little bit higher. Then center it up so all the gaps around the cover are even. After it is cured for about 24 hours, the drain cover can be removed to inspect the drain if necessary, and it will only go back in the same location because of the index point. A few tips to make it easier. The bottom of the PVC plate has been coated with a release agent, but it does not hurt to put some spray lubricant on the bottom before filling the index holes and putting into place. Another tip to make it easier to remove the drain cover for the first time is to put a string, thin strap, or a run of duct tape under the plate in the channels and let it stick up so you can get a hold on it to pick up the plate.